Well, Coach, congratulations on the win over Cumberland University this past Saturday. 27-26 the final score, and your team had the lead the whole game until the Phoenix scored late, and then the Choctaws went on a drive in the final minute to win it. Describe what that scene was like on the field for us.
Well, it was exciting. You know, when they scored and went up, and we had the extra point that they had, it was 26-24, and then we scooped it up because it was a bad snap and ran, and we're thinking, and I had time because he has to run the length of the field. I looked up at the score and realized if he scores here, we're going to tie this up. That's not something that goes through your mind right before the play. We're going to tie this up right now. And but he got caught right there at the end, which, you know, was kind of, everybody was excited and then a little bit deflated, but not so much. Our players really believed that they could do it and they could drive down. We had 54 seconds left, and we did. We went right down the field and put ourselves in field goal position. Matt Brazier knocked it through. So that was exciting. And I really didn't realize how excited we were. It was really big for us. I know that. There's been a lot of hard work and a lot of heartache in building this program and battling the development of our players as we've gone through this Division II transition. Well, when a game like that happens, when people rush the field, no matter who it is you're playing, they rush the field, and we're so excited when the ball went through the uprights. That was awesome to see and really good for our players.
And I know you guys probably practiced those situations, those timed situations, late game situations, and it had to be encouraging to see your players come through, and it played out probably just like you'd bring it up in practice.
It did, and you know, there's things to correct even in that situation. You know, as a coach and players, you see that, you know, maybe a route wasn't run quite as crisp as you want it, but there was a lot of execution, and those things, those practice situations do pay off. Not just, you know, we start off every 2-minute drill and we go against our defense, so somebody's going to win on that day, and sometimes it's the defense, sometimes it's the offense on Thursdays. But when we do that, you know, it's good for us, and when, just in case it happens in the ball game, it paid off.
This was about as balanced an offensive game as we've seen in a long time, just 4 yards more rushing than passing. The Choctaws were 10 of 17 on third down, so this was a very efficient ball game offensively for MC.
Well, we have been getting better and better. One thing we still need to improve on is when we get in the red zone, we need to be able to capitalize with touchdowns and, if not, field goals. And we have had several times down this year in the red zone. I want to say 5 or 6 or somewhere in there that we have not capitalized at all. And we need to make sure and get points. This is so important, especially versus a team like Delta State. But that's something we're still working on. We have improved in a lot of areas. We've improved in pass protection and throwing the football. We have a completion rate. I want to say that Sharon is right around 65%, which is really impressive, and he hasn't thrown many interceptions. There's been one tip ball, one that he probably shouldn't have thrown, but he's been really pretty effective throwing the football. We need to improve in our run game a little bit, but that's something we've always been real strong at. And as we transition and trying to throw the ball more, we do have some receivers that can go get it, and some running backs who are like slot backs who can catch the football. You know, we're not trying to take away from the running game, but trying to balance it up, just like you said.
Alize Chubbs came up big for you last week as a running back. He gave, I think, maybe 14 carries in the game last week, and that's the most since week 1, and I thought he had a really good ball game.
He did, and had a long run and showed his speed, and we got that call back with a holding call, and it wasn't probably necessary. There was you know, when it's holding is called, you never know if it's really grabbing them or turning them, or there is some things that could be considered illegal. So anyway, it hurt us on that play, but without that, he would have had even more yards. So he did show what he's capable of. He's got good vision. He runs extremely hard, protects the ball, has been able to hold on the ball this year. So we're excited, and as he continues to get better and better.
Newsom really racked up the yards last week, had 2 long, actually a long run and a long reception, and then the kick return to start the ball game.
No
so we know that Delta State's going to be kind of keying on him, but we saw in the game last Saturday other guys were stepping up too.
No doubt about it. There is more than Marcel, but he is really a great playmaker. Last year against Delta State, he had a long kick return too, so they adjusted. Delta State did. They didn't kick to him as much. So that could happen again. We've got to have other guys step up and be able to block and run and protect the football with more than just Marcel. He did do a lot of things, though. He ran the ball, like you said, for a long run. I want to say 75 yards. And we had one guy that was unblocked. He just made him miss like it was nothing. And then he had a long pass reception for a touchdown, which he ran a great route. Sharon put it right on the money, and he scored and the kickoff return. So a little bit of running, passing, and kick returning. He's done a really good job for us in the punt returns as well, handling the football. So that's not easy to do. You can ask everybody who wants to play, who wants to get in the game. And when we start mentioning punt return, not everybody wants to do that because it's up there and a lot of people are around that person. There's a lot of pressure, and it's something that he takes on really well.
And he had a big play on special teams as the gunner going back and making that tackle on the punt.
No doubt about it. We challenged him too. This is one of the last plays of the game. We didn't get the first down. They made a good play on us on 3rd and 2, and we needed to punt the ball. Matthew Turcott had hit a great punt back there to about the 15-yard line, and Marcel was right there. He showed a burst of speed because he still had a little distance as the ball was coming down, but he saw that returner about to want to run, and he was a dangerous returner. Marcel turned it on and made that tackle. Not only made the hit, but made the tackle.
As the game went along, I thought the defense made adjustments well. Early in the ball game, the Cumberland quarterback was having kind of his way between the tackles. I think they ran the same play about 4 different times in the first quarter, and he was eating up yardage. But the defense made some adjustments, and eventually they got him under control. I thought that was a big reason why the Choctaws were able to win.
Yes, he was a good player. You know, when I coached his brother, who was really, really fast, I knew he was a good athlete because we recruited him a little bit up at University of Cumberland's. And also, you know, when we came here, he was at West Alabama. I don't know if he wasn't happy, obviously, and he left. I wish he would have stayed at West Alabama because he was really good. Not only was he running the ball effectively, but he was reading most of those plays where it could have been a sweep or it could have been the quarterback keep. And so if we would have come down on him, they probably would have had somebody on the outside. So we have to be responsible. And a lot of teams do this. They run option football. You know, it's not triple option like Georgia Tech, not everybody, but it's shotgun option, and it's the same thing, just from a different formation. And that's what he was doing and doing it really well. Not only could he run the football, he was very powerful, breaking tackles, and I think that's something we need to improve on, but he could throw it too, as you saw in the last drive of the game.
And to do that effectively, you've got to have a quarterback that can make those decisions on the fly. It really seems like Sharon Wright is making some really good decisions for the Choctaws this year.
No doubt about it. And he's just developed. You know what he did? He played high school football as a quarterback and then went on to junior college at Itawamba and played defensive back for 2 years. He came here as a defensive back. Last 2 games of the year, last season in 2015, we moved him. So he has not had but 2 games plus these 4 games of experience, 6 games of experience in college football playing quarterback, and is really, really impressive what he's doing as far as throwing the football and making these decisions and having the coach. I'm his coach, you know. I'm on him all the time and taking that pressure as well, and it's paying off in the ball games.
Going back to the defense for just a moment, some freshmen are stepping up, some young players are stepping up. Julian Charles had a really good game last Saturday night. Stephen Bradley continues to play well in the secondary.
Yes, of course, Stephen is a junior college kid, came from the national champion Northwest Community College, and has really been awesome for us as far as defending the run and the pass. I mean, tackling well and playing really, really solid. Julian Charles is a freshman. He's been doing good. He does some good things and some bad, but he's running around and really showing his athletic ability, and that's good. We just got to get everybody to continue to grow in a lot of ways as players, but as a team too, and we're seeing that. We're seeing that development each and every week. It's not all coming at once, and I wish it would, but it's not. But hopefully we'll come closer and closer before this Delta State game.
Well, Delta State tonight, Tyler Sullivan passed for 3 TDs against the Choctaws last year. He did miss a lot of time with injury last year, but performed well at the very end. So we know what he can do. Yeah,
he didn't miss our game last year, did he? He was. That's kind of the rivalry thing. You know, I think he was probably still hurt. I don't even know. He said, "I'm playing against Mississippi College," and so that is something we'll see. He's a really good quarterback, obviously, and he throws the ball extremely well. They've got good runners, too. They can run the football, and they've done that effectively this year to help him out in his passing game. They've got a quick game, and they've also can throw the ball deep. He's solid. He's a big kid. Their defense, though, runs to the ball extremely well, too. They're as physical and as active as I've seen in this league. We've seen some good ones already. You know, West Alabama was good. Florida Tech was really good, okay, and I've seen some others on film that are really competitive, and the Gulf South Conference is like this every year, though, but Delta State's right there toward the top in most categories.
Over the last couple of years in provisional play in Division II, the Choctaws have had some games where they were kind of hump games. You thought you might get over the hump and get a win in a conference play. And I think the Delta State game certainly was one last year.
Oh, yeah.
Had a 2-point lead late in the third quarter. So
Sure.
the guys who remember that game remember, hey, we can play with these guys.
Well, you know what they feel like. I feel like this: if we play our best and we play like we're capable of, we can play with anybody in the league. And that's the tough thing about it. Our depth is not quite as strong as some of the opponents that we face. Maybe we don't have to. We can't make as many mistakes as maybe our opponents because of that. The provisional games, you know, I'm talking about those provisional ones. We actually had to play in them. That was tough. But you know what? I'm thinking that same thing. You know, we I felt like we probably should have won the game last year. We had some mistakes that we made. We put the ball on the ground when opportunities we had to take the lead even bigger. And it's because we I had somebody call me up last year after the game. It was the next week. I never told you this. They called me up and congratulated me. And I thought, wow, this is a moral victory here. People are congratulating me on a loss. But we played tough. And they said, no, you won. And they didn't watch the whole thing. They thought after we were winning so good and playing so well, we ended up winning the game. And so that's how close it was. And we're excited for that. But, you know, this is a new year. And we've got to not live off of what we could have done last year, but what's going to happen this year.
That's usually a season-ending game, but a mid-season game this year, a Thursday night game and a short week. So how did that affect your preparation?
Well, we went on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in practice, and just started up. We don't normally off on Monday because of NCAA mandates that you have one day off each week. And we usually have that as Monday because we play on Saturday, we work a little bit on Sunday after church, and then Monday give them, now they're not off from school. They have to go to school and they have to go to study hall and that kind of thing, but nothing with football. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are usually our work days. Friday we have a walkthrough. We didn't have a chance for a walkthrough this week. We did have a meeting this morning before we head on up there. But that's going to be the only thing. So it just got crammed into 3 days. That's about it. And then we're going to go up there to Delta State and then be back tonight, go to class tomorrow, and watch the film and then let them off for the weekend.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time. Looking forward to this big rivalry game against Delta State. Good luck.
Thank you.